Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Couple channel. I'm Wendy, and here is my non-spoiler review for the Garfield movie. Garfield, the world-famous, Monday-hating, lasagna-loving indoor cat is about to have a wild outdoor adventure. After an unexpected reunion with his long-lost father, Garfield and his canine friend Odie are forced from their perfectly pampered life into joining Vic in a hilarious, high-stakes heist. I know Garfield is super famous, super well-known, probably globally. Growing up, I feel like I've always, Sunday paper, like the comics page, that was the page I would always run to get, and my grandma and I would, read it together. She loved Garfield, so I see that now they're turning this into a movie, and while I do have, some history of reading Garfield, especially with my grandmother, I was wondering, do we really need this movie? And the trailer looked really cute and everything, and again, an iconic cat, but I wasn't overly excited for the movie. It was cute, I knew I was gonna see it, but I really didn't have any expectations going into this movie. That being said, I found this movie absolutely adorable, heartwarming, and has no business of being this funny. I laughed throughout the entire movie. Garfield is voiced by Chris Pratt, and one of the things I wonder is, am I gonna hear Chris Pratt? Am I gonna hear Mario? Or am I just going to not notice any of it? And the answer is, I didn't notice it. And I was very aware of, when Garfield spoke his first line in the movie, and we already heard it in the trailer, so it's not like we didn't know going in. But when we're sitting down in the movie theater, Garfield says his first line, and I was kind of listening really hard, do I hear Chris Pratt? And I would have to say, no, he didn't sound like any of the other characters he's ever voiced over in the past. He didn't sound like himself. And I think it was really good that was established right away, as in, we all know that because he's the star of the film, he was going to obviously have the first line, but that it was established that it was such a distinctly different voice that even though later on in the movie, I felt like it kind of fell back, I could feel a little bit of Chris coming through. The bar was already set, and to me it was already established that this was Garfield's voice, and so I didn't feel like it was distracting, I didn't feel like it sounded like Chris, and Chris comes from, a comedic background, and the dialogue for this movie is very quick-witted, it's very fast, the deliveries, you have to really hit it with the right kind of comedic timing. I can see why Chris landed the role of Garfield. I love the way he delivered so many of these lines, and the reason why I was cracking up throughout the movie. They packed in a lot of stuff in this film. So we have essentially the origin of Garfield, why he was sort of abandoned by his father. We saw all of this in the trailer. I don't consider that spoiler. So Garfield is living his perfect, pampered life, and we know from the trailer that he is catnapped. Him and Odie were both, pet napped, and that sets the ball rolling into Garfield reuniting with his father, and a very high-stake heist that they have to pull off. And there's other storylines that are involved in there that I'm not going to reveal in this review because I want you guys to find out in the film. For as much of stuff that they were packing into the storyline, there's probably maybe good 4 storylines that were in there that they packed in. The pacing was really, really, really good, concise. Yes, they do have a couple of those narrative exposition scenes, but what movie at this point doesn't? And it was still really well done, and it doesn't take up that much space because they establish it and they go right back into it, and it just keeps moving very fast paced. And of course, aside from all the comedic moments, there are a lot of heartwarming moments, a lot more than I expected, actually. And also, you might come out of this movie feeling very, very hungry because we know how much Garfield loves his food, loves his lasagna. They have a lot of Italian food, just the food in general, highlighted in this movie. It's gonna make you hungry. I was sitting in the theater and my stomach was grumbling. And of course, they did sneak in a couple of Easter eggs honoring Jim Davis. Now, I only spotted 2. I am sure there were more. So any eagle eye moviegoers out there, if you see any of them, comment below and let me know what Easter eggs you spotted in the movie. I'm gonna go ahead and give you my rating for the Garfield movie. The movie couple rating is listed for you in the video description below. Now, for someone who had zero expectation, not a low expectation, just kind of zero expectation going into this film, I walked out of it, big smile on my face, my heart felt so full. I was so thoroughly entertained. It was hilarious. It is a fantastic all ages film. And I think for fans of Garfield, they are really going to like this movie. I thought Chris Pratt did a great job as Garfield. I thought Hannah Waddingham was fantastic as the villain for the film. In fact, the whole cast really delivered on their voice performances, but I think the one stand out to me, ironically, he didn't really have any spoken lines because that's the character, but it was Odie. And jokes aside, there is just a lot of healing, sort of, heartwarming moments of Garfield and his dad and the two of them trying to overcome their past traumas and conflicts throughout this movie. It's like, it'll make you feel like your eye's gonna sting a little bit. I didn't cry, but I felt it. And I thought that was really nice. And so my rating for the Garfield movie is matinee it. Let me know your thoughts on the movie once you've seen it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to let me know about the Easter eggs honoring Jim Davis if you find it. And thank you for watching. See you next time.